Okay, so welcome back. Now we're going to talk about the slide transitions. Now, slide transitions are the effects that you get going from one slide to the next. Normally, when you go into a presentation, let me just show you this. I'll start this first one up. There it is. So that's your first slide. Now, when you go and click your mouse, boom, it just goes to the second slide. Somebody blinks their eyes, they're not even really maybe even notice that you went to a new slide. Say, click it again, there's your third. Click it again, and of course, we had the animation that we had done in the last one, so I'm just going to kind of go through that. But as I click it, it just goes from slide to slide. So it's pretty kind of a, it's okay, but it's not very eventful. I'll just say that much. All right. So let me just go ahead and get out of there. And so what we're going to do instead of just having it just, boom, 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 we're going to put some transition effects in here. So what you do is, and you can do this on a slide-by-slide basis, or you can apply it to all the slides. So if you find a transition that you think is pretty cool, and you want to do it on all 100 of your slides, you would just select all those slides ahead of time, and then you choose that particular transition, and then it would be applied to all those slides. Okay, so here's how it goes. How we go about doing this. Well, so for the first slide, which would be like your title slide, you would first of all go over to your transitions, all right, and you've got all of these different kinds of transitions. Now, just like when we were working with the animations, I'm going to show you most of these transitions. They're all pretty much the same as far as applying them, and we've got some options as well. But here's how it works. So if we go into this first one called the morph, all right, that's what happens. So get out of there. Okay. So you click the morph, that's what the morph does. It basically just kind of does something like when you're watching TV and they go into like a commercial, and so the screen kind of blanks, it kind of blacks out, and then it kind of comes back in and gives you that. That's what that morph is doing for you, right? You've also got the fade, almost the same. The push, now I think this is kind of neat. So it comes up like that. So when that appears, and when we're going to do the presentation, let me just run into this real quick. That's how it's going to come up, see? All right, we've got the wipe. That's kind of neat. Now, just like we had with the animations, the wipe, what did it do there? It's wiping from right to left, right? Well, I can go to the options here, and I can go from top. I can say from the left or right. So you might end up saying, you know what? I really like this particular transition. I'm going to apply it to all my slides, but then I'm going to go back to each one of them and pick it to go in different directions, and I've got a number of them to choose from. So this could be slide number 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, that type of thing. You can get kind of creative with it. All right, so that's your wipe. You've got the split. That's cool. The reveal. Not bad, huh? There's your cut. I don't know what that does. Here's your random bars. That's pretty cool. Now, I'll go to the next level. I'll just hit the down arrow here. Here's your shape. Now, of course, you go to the shape options. You've got the diamond. You've got the plus, and so forth, right? Okay. The uncover. Let's see. What the uncover would do, let's go back to the slideshow and take a look at that. Well, I don't think it really does much. We'll do the cover. Okay, that's okay. The flash. Look at that, huh? Fall over. Now we're starting to get kind of out there. Now watch this. Fall over. There's the drape. Look at that one, huh? Curtains. So when you go into the presentation, look at this. Ta-da-da. All right. You got the wind. Kind of blew that away. Prestige. Okay. Now on the next level, fracture. Crush. Look at this one. Peel off. Page curl. Airplane. Origami. Dissolve. Checkerboard. Again, they all have their options that you can play around with. There's your blinds, right? And we'll go to our next level here. Now you're gonna be really impressed with a few of these here. Now with the clock, that's pretty cool. The ripple, the honeycomb. We've got the glitter, all that glitters. There we go. Now here's one for you, the vortex. You ready for this one? Let me go to a different slide here. So we'll do the vortex again here. Oh, one more here. Okay. So there's the vortex. Not bad. The shred and the switch. That's kind of a neat one. Now, when you do the switch, then your options are from right or from the left. So you can maybe make all your slides that one, and then alternate between left and right on each one of them, right? All right, so we got the flip. Again, you can flip left and right. The gallery. Look at that one, that's pretty cool. And you can, of course, that's going to be from the left as well. And we still have more. Look at this. So we got the cube. Now in that case, we can say we want that to go from bottom. Now that goes and does something like that. So you can actually have it where every other one, it's either going, let's say you got every fourth one would be the right, every fourth one would be the bottom, and so forth. You can do something like that. We've got the doors. All right, and then we've got the box, the comb, the zoom. Look at that one, huh? So we can zoom, I would bet you zoom in, and we got zoom out even. Look at that, see? Random, it could be anything. So that one right there will give you, if you pick random, it's going to be different each time you do it. Like this time it did that way, right? Now it does that way. Now it does that way. So if you were to make all of your slides, and the way you would do is you click on one of them, hit the Control A, and that would select everything, right, on your keyboard. And then you pick one of these, and if you did the random, as I said before, so if you did the random, then it would always be different for every one of them. So you'd be surprised which ones, how they came out each time. All right, we got the pan. It's kind of cool. The Ferris wheel. And of course we can make that one go, oh, did the wrong one there. Do it from the left. There we go, all right. Got the conveyor. And I think we got one more row, yeah. So we got the rotate. That's pretty neat. The window. The orbit. And then the fly through. All right, so some of them are kind of similar. Now, for every one of them that you do, you can also specify how long it should take to accomplish its particular transition. Right now, we've got it set for about a little bit less than a second. Is that what that means? All right. So what you could do in this case, you might say, well, okay, I'm going to go to my first one again. And I think what I want to do is I want to do the vortex. I love the vortex. So I click onto that, and there's my vortex. And then what you would do is you'd say, because you want this to be all of them, you'd say apply to all. And now every one of them will be the vortex. So when you go into your slideshow, all right, there's your first slide. You click your mouse. There's your next slide. And so on and so forth, right? Okay, that's about it. And if you decided, you know what, I don't want any transitions at all, get rid of all the transitions and everything, you click on to none, click on to apply to all, and now transitions are all gone. You can even apply a sound to each of these. So let's say on this first one here, and let's say we're going to do a wipe. All right, so there's the wipe. And I also want to have a sound in there. Now look at this, I can click onto here. Here's the applause. So it'll happen now when I go and do the slideshow. Now that might be good using the curtain one, right? And have the curtains open up, and as the curtains are opening up, you're getting the applause. Or maybe it's a particular slide on sales numbers that were a great success, and so the curtain opens up, and you get the applause. All right. Now here's a thought when you're doing the transitions. You might want to change your view over to the slide sorter view, and we kind of talked about this in the very beginning. Where you click onto this guy down at the bottom, it says slide sorter, or you can go to view and click on a slide sorter like that, either way. And then you can also modify, the zoom here. So in this case, we can see all 12 slides. And then once you've done that, you can go to the transition, right? And let's just say that, I'm going to give you kind of a practical thing to do here. So let's say we want to do the wipe. Okay, on the first slide. So I'm clicked on there. We got it set for wipe. So it does that, right? I think I'll get rid of the applause there. But look at all those different sounds. I mean, you've got a whole bunch there. Explosions and chimes and everything else. All right. Now, so what I can do is I choose that, choose wipe, all right? And then I say apply to all, all right? That's great. Now, this one's going to be what? Looks like from the right, right? Well, this one here, I want this one to be from the left. I want this one to be from the top, or from top, right? And this one I want to be from the bottom, all right? So, I did the wrong one there. Oh, whatever. So we got front. This should have been. We got left, right. This was from the top. And then I go this one here, right? And this one will be from the bottom, right? And I would do that over and over again for each of the other two rows there, right? Or actually we got, I actually got 13 there. All right, so now I'm just going to go and run the slideshow from the beginning here. So that'll be your first one. Now when you click it, there's your second slide. There's your third slide. There's your fourth slide. Oh, and so forth. All right. I don't think that was very impressive. I think what I'll do, I'm going to click on the first one again. I'm going to go instead with the push. All right. I like that effect. So I'll do that. I'll apply it to all. And I think I did that right. There we go. So now this one is going to be pushing from the bottom. So I'll just say I want this one to be pushing from the top. I want this one to be pushing from the left. And I want this one here to be pushing from the right. Right? So we'll just do those. Now I'll go back to here, run my slideshow. There's your first slide, right? There's your second slide, third slide. Okay, I got through that. And our fourth slide. There we go. Okay, and on with that. All right, so I think that's it, everybody. So hopefully this is something that you maybe can integrate into your presentations. I don't see why you wouldn't want to have some sort of transition. Even the most boring one, pick that. I mean, you got to have something. You can't have it just where it just goes, boom, there's a slide, boom, there's a slide. Having that transition, I think, really creates a kind of a show type atmosphere. And I think it gets everybody kind of excited, and they're kind of looking almost forward to seeing what the next slide is going to be, So anyway, or just looking forward to seeing what your next transition is going to be, right? All right, well, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.